inside each of the 6 packs of beer. And this Mark Cahill has done this. And he told me he's coming out once, and someone says, they had seen, he hands them a track, and hey, I got one of those in, my case of beer last week. Did you put it there? And he says, I don't know, what's it say? I just made the guy read it. The guy already read it. I read it twice. So it's, but do you go for the purpose? I'll tell you why tracks are good. I have some here, and I'm going to show you how to use some of them. Some of you guys were already here earlier, so Ken already did this. But this is a great one. This works great, especially with teenagers, but it works well with anyone. You can just walk up to someone and just ask them which one looks bigger. Now, which one looks bigger? Some of you already know the answer. Which one looks bigger, though? The pink one. And you say, really? Okay, which one looks bigger? Yeah, you haven't seen this one. Okay? And then you can sit there and you go like this. They're actually the same size. Here you go. Read the back. It's a gospel tract. Okay? So if you do take these, make sure you got to take pink and blue. It's a 2-part gospel. I end up, whenever I go places, I give, by the way, all this stuff you're going to be able to take for free later. Okay? But I always give them out, and at the end of the day, I usually have either more blue or more pink. So someone's giving out half the gospel, which isn't good. Okay? But eventually, for my track, they end up evening out. This is a great, because this is funny. And you get the, wow, yeah, that's neat. You can do things as we're going to do in the mall today. We go to the mall. This works really, really well for teenagers. And I'm going to ask you guys if you could just call out the answers. Here's the rule. This is an intelligence test. Okay, I want to see how intelligent each of you are. I'm going to ask you this question out loud. Please give the answer out loud. I don't repeat the questions, okay? So look over here. How many of each kind of animal did Moses bring onto the ark? Just call the answer out.
None.
Okay. Some say none, say 2. All right. What's the name of the raised print that deaf people use? The name of the raised print that deaf people use. Yeah, some of you know these. Braille is what most people say. Can you grammatically correctly end a sentence with the word the? He's just shaking his head because he figures it's probably a trick. Right, well, yeah, there's an example right there. That's grammatically correct right there. You spell out loud the word shop. What do you do when you come to a green light?
Stop.
Yeah, you want to say stop, and you want to spell it. With the green light, you usually go. Spell the word silk. And what do cows drink? Water. This is brainwashing. I just brainwashed these right. Right? Here's what I did with this. I say, each kind of animal ark, you think Noah. You don't even listen to the word Moses.
Right.
I say raised print, you think Braille. I usually never get to this part. People are already answering sometimes. This, you just think the answer is no. Okay? You spell the word shop, you think stop. You spell silk, you think milk. Okay? Or this one. I want everyone out loud. You're going to see 3 triangles. Read what's inside the triangles out loud, please. Starting right here. And I wish you guys were my English teacher. I could have actually passed because you don't notice that says Paris in the spring. Bird in the hand, and once in a lifetime. You all got it wrong. But that's because our mind overlooks that. We put these out. This is no joke. If you'll come with us to the mall this afternoon, you will see. This is the last thing I put up. These 2 signs right here. Once we put those signs up, we get a crowd of people that want to take the intelligence test. The irony is that here's a simple thing about this, because you guys are each going to try this out now, okay? And I'm going to give you later one of these so that you have them, because you're going to want to fool someone else now. That's human nature, okay? Once you've been fooled, you want to fool someone else. So we've been going to them all so often that when we put these signs up, anyone who's gotten fooled always brings their friends. I had one day where this lady comes up to me and she says, "My husband says I have to take the intelligence test." Now, what that means is the husband already took it, failed it, and got the gospel, and now he's sending his wife, which means he knows she's going to hear the gospel. Okay? Now, she actually did well on this one. She failed this one. It's an amazing thing, but I've never had one of these seem to fool someone. Okay? But here's what we do. We put this up in the mall, or when we go to boardwalks, things like that, and we get people that will take this this starts a conversation. If you're doing a planned event, like at a church function, or if you go to an open area, what this does is this gets it where, first off, doing the same thing you guys all did when you found out the answers, you laughed. Okay? Best thing to do with evangelism, don't debate, keep it lighthearted. The thing that I do the most is make fun of myself because there's plenty of material there. Okay? My wife is here, she could tell you. If there was an award for doing stupid things, I could win it. I'd be great at it. You know? So I make fun of myself. Why? Because if I can keep it lighthearted, they're not getting defensive and argumentative. They're going to be receptive to what you're saying. You get in a debate, all they're looking to do is win a debate. They're looking to argue. Doing something like this, or some of these tracks, it makes it lighthearted, makes it a good, a fun time for them. From here, what we do is I'll transition, I'll ask them, if I could fool you on such a little thing, can you be fooled on a big thing? And they'll say, maybe. So sometimes I'll pull this out, and I'll try not to have that. I'll ask them, are you a good person? Are you good enough to pass a simple good person test? 99% of people say I'm a good person. I then will go through the 10 Commandments and reveal to them that if you look inside of what you call good, anyone see what's inside there? I usually wear this shirt. I'll be wearing it later. It's a little clearer in this. Yeah. Look inside good. What do you see? The word evil. If we go through the 10 Commandments, and I'm going to express this a little more later on, but you go through the 10 Commandments, you reveal that we're all liars, okay? No matter how you define it, we've all stolen something, regardless of value, regardless how long ago. We've all broken the 10 Commandments. We think we're good. 99% of people will tell me they're a good person. A lot of them will tell me they're a great person, okay? So, unless they're with, like, a spouse, sometimes they'll be like, oh, she won't say I'm a good person. All right? What do you think without her around? But here's what I end up doing. I transition to that. Why? Now I'm getting into explaining the gospel. If you could be fooled on a simple thing like, do you think you're a good person? Suddenly I go through the 10 Commandments and say, well, you don't sound to be as good of a person by your own admission as you think. What do you think would happen when you die? And what I'm doing is starting a conversation with something that's completely foreign and getting into explaining the gospel. All right? This is good. Something like this works if you're doing like at a mall, or we go to the boardwalk, we go to train stations, things like that. But one-on-one, you're just walking around. Two things that you can do. One is tracks. So I want to use some tracks. My wife and I went to a restaurant. We were going to dinner one night. And I don't know if you've ever seen an incident like this, but, husband and wife, or we assume it's husband and wife, and they're getting into an argument. You ever see that in public? I'm the only one? Okay, here's the scene. My wife and I are walking up to a restaurant, and we weren't quite sure where it was, so we're kind of just walking. Lady standing outside of the door of this tavern, and she's looking at the guy who's just sitting there with a mad face on, and